Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mark Mac back with another episode of The Hump. What's going on? It's happy Hump Day. Today is Wednesday, March 19th. Oh my goodness, just past the Ides of March. It is March 19th. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Another episode of The Hump. My guest tonight was supposed to be Olivia Wainhouse. Unfortunately, she decided not to join us this evening. If you'd like to know why, maybe ask her. I don't know. Maybe something came up, but maybe we'll find a way to get her back on the show. But I did want to continue the show. There was people that did sign up. Of course, I wanted to actually just get on here and actually put together a show for you tonight because it is Women in Sales month for me, for us, for here at the Hump and SDR Insider. And when it comes to women in sales, I think about all the women that are influencing us today, be it on LinkedIn or wherever else you might be following women in sales for that matter, or marketing, or women in business, right? It's Women's History Month. And I started thinking about all the people that I know that are, that maybe some of you guys know, some names that I'm going to mention this evening. And we'll take a look at their LinkedIn page and we'll see what they're doing. Hopefully, there'll be some that you maybe never knew before or didn't know about. Others are probably going to be recognizable. And so I hope you stick around and join us, for the show, regardless of whether or not Olivia was able to make it. Now, if you are a woman watching the show, like if anybody out there wants to actually come on and maybe chop it up with me, I can post the link to the StreamYard. Would love to get Lauren Sermon. I don't know if she signed up to watch the show tonight. So if you're there, Lauren, and want to jump on, I would love to have you, honestly, because frankly, there is a lot of great women in sales. I'd love to celebrate them all. I don't have that chance, but if you want to come on and shoot the shit tonight, that would be awesome. But I'm going to actually walk through some folks that I know personally that were an impact to me in sales, women in sales, women in sales. Um, I even talked to my wife that made me come on because she actually knows me better than anybody else, and she's a woman who's married to a man in sales. I thought that was kind of funny, but I think she's dealing with some things right now. So I don't know if I'm going to get her on, but I definitely have an open door if you want to come on and talk. But the first person I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about is a woman that actually nobody probably knows because she is someone that I personally worked with many, many years ago. She was um, a woman named um, Janice Ransom or Janice Patterson, and she worked as one of the leaders at a company called Bond Technologies that I worked at. Started in early '98, and when I became sales manager there, she was basically my boss, and I think taught me a boatload of stuff. Like she basically, one of the most important lessons I learned from her was, like at that time I was 26 years old, and I was doing good in sales. It was a phone game back then completely. There was no email. There was no data engines. I was like literally given a phone book, and you just made calls. And as I escalated through the company and through the ranks, I became the sales manager, and here I am sitting at the desk, and here I got all these guys around me that are cold calling and making calls, and we're kind of talking a little bit about back and forth, in between calls sometimes, but or even during calls, because that was like kind of the thing. You'd yell stuff out at them to say and do. I can't believe I do it. And you'd have to be forced to learn how to listen to like your boss and the person on the other side of the line, which you probably were neglecting. You probably weren't really listening to them. But it was like she would sit there, Janice, and just listen and watch everything that was going on. And then, every once in a while, she would say, just a little tweak, she'd say, just a little tweak. Don't give him an essay, because like I'd have this tendency to like, like I'd get off the guy I was training, whenever he would get off the phone, and it would be like, I'd be like, listen, man, you got to change this, and then you got to change that, or whatever, like, or you got to say it this way and say it that way, right? Like I wanted them to do it. I had that same notion that, I could get them to do it just like me, or in some cases I felt like they couldn't, right? And like I would never take the call over, but it would just be like, which is crazy. I can't even imagine like taking over the call in the middle of the call. Like how like demoralizing is that, and today you'd look like an idiot in front of whoever the prospect was on the other side of the line, right? And so, but it was like it was like I would just hit with a lot of stuff. And she said, look, no one's going to understand everything, right? They're not going to learn all of that in like a couple of seconds and then, be able to replicate. You got to give them one small thing to change, right? Small tweaks, small wins, small tweaks, same thing, right? And so she just like taught me these things that like I don't think I could have ever really you know figured out on my own. It was just like the way it was. I mean, she just was so sharp with me. She knew exactly what, to tell me, and to pull my coat too. She used to say that, pull my coat, let me pull your coat on this, and and she really gave me like, so much, so much as a woman in sales herself. I mean, she was like the VP of sales. I look back at her resume, and what she writes here and how she describes herself back then, as a like recruiter. Here she's managing director. Here she just says project sales and consultant. I mean, God, she was my mentor. She taught me how to be a better sales manager, a better sales rep, and I pretty much owe a ton to her. From time to time we chat. I guess on she sees me on LinkedIn. Maybe she'll watch this, and she'll know that I've been extremely thankful for all the things that she's done for me in my career. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. I think I pulled up a couple of other folks on here. I just want to back up and talk about some of them. The first one, a really sharp gal, has been killing it. I watch her content all the time. She's in the mix always, and that's Brianna Chapman. Brianna works at Offsite, great company, only there a few months, but she just posts just real stuff. Like literally, like who in their right mind would have the balls, if you will, to say I desperately need something as a hook. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, I like she's saying, listen, I have something to offer, right? And I kind of dig her content. I dig her as a woman in sales, and yeah, I think she's awesome. And if you're not following her, you should. Um, let's see. The next person is Sam McKenna. Everybody knows Sam McKenna, right? She's actually on the top 50, most powerful women in sales, along with a couple of others we're going to talk about tonight, right? And if you have any ones to suggest, I'm happy to take suggestions from the crowd on who might be great women in sales to follow, or in marketing, or in business, right? Sam McKenna, listen, everybody knows this girl. Why? Because if you know the words "show me you know me" or SMYM, whatever it is, SMYKM, like this is her brand, right? I mean, crap, it's "show me you know me" is SM, Sam McKenna. Like, just, I mean, this girl hit a home run with that. And really, honestly, when you think about what she's saying with that, right? What is the message with that? To me, it means, not telling me that, or approaching me and saying, oh, I saw you went to SUNY Albany, or you know, a real generic would be even, oh, I saw you got promoted. It's like, congratulations, blah blah blah, right? Like, like I might send a connection request and noticing that, right? But when I want to reach out and really engage with somebody, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. And it's not about digging deep into, I think, exactly who that person is, and like finding out, like what their favorite cupcake is, which would be awesome, but that'd be really difficult, right? It's about understanding their business, right? Because at the end of the day, right, you don't want to be best friends with them. You don't want to be best friends. I mean, you could end up being best friends with one of your clients, no doubt. But it's not about that, right? It's not about, you know, or even using some of the shallow stuff. It's about really understanding their business and being able to relate something that, you think that they may actually be, be relative for them, be something within their environment, within their work environment. If you're a physical fitness coach, then maybe it's a personal environment. But otherwise, everything else is business. Let's not, you know, confuse the two, right? There's business, and then there's like really social, right? Way you act with your friends, the people who really are your friends, who you're gonna, confide in. There's different kinds of friends, I guess, right? You can. Oh, I've always had friends that were customers. Don't get me wrong, right? You can build those relationships, but early on in an environment where you're trying to just engage with somebody initially, show me you know me is really digging deep into understanding maybe what their business challenges could potentially be, or understanding their business that's around them. It's great to see, you say something, those events, those triggers, like, infusions of cash, or moves, career moves, executive moves. Those are all interesting things, but interpolate what comes from those things, and that's the message, right? It's not so much, well, I saw you got promoted. It'd be like, most people that I know who recently step into roles like yours are often faced with X, right? um, and as a result can be challenged by Y, right? So, you know I'm curious how you are handling it at this moment. Like, that's a little bit more in detail, right? Like, that's a little bit more inquisitive, curious. It invokes that, and it gives them the sense that maybe you really understand their world, right? And that's what "show me you know me" means. And this gal, I love her. I've never met her, but she created that, and everybody. I mean, just it's kind of like, just do it. That's Nike. If you say "show me you know me," it's Sam McKenna. That's all I got to say about her. My girl Amelia, I love her to death. I've had so many opportunities to talk with her over the years. If you don't know her, I would definitely be trying to connect with her. I haven't seen her in a long time. I mean, the groups that we were in, she's kind of gone on to do other things. She was with Reggie. She just built, her own personal brand, I think, really well. She spent time, obviously, as, more of like a marketing professional turned sales, but always with sales, as you could see. But a great gal, and really uses, you know, even some of those things like "show me you know me" really to heart as well. That's something I know that she embodies, and does her best to engage with people on that level. I think she's great, and yeah, you should definitely check her out. She's definitely an inspiration. Has been an inspiration to me since I've met her some time ago as well. So yeah, that's Amelia Taylor. Who else we got? Now, some of you guys don't know, maybe Candace Tabor, right? Candace, I owe a boatload of crap to her too. Like, I love her to death. And I don't know her a boatload of crap. I mean, I owe her a boatload of thanks. She is a girl that I met when I started working at Title. In fact, I think I interviewed with her. I think it was one of one part of the I interviewed with Steve, and then I think I may have talked with Candace somewhere along the way, right? And she's just a really down to earth, really cerebral, if you will, type of a woman. She really like she's more of that, not in sales per se, but more on the HR side of things in a way. I'd say learning and development, really, not HR, right? And she's incredible when it comes to putting together learning and development programs, and really understanding how to deliver learning and development in certain environments. And I think, beyond that, she's a great people leader. She's really was able to, like kind of like Janice, pull my coat on some things. In fact, I think today I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a shirt that I got down in Ocean City, Maryland, and I actually bought this shirt because on the back it says, you know, getting salty, right? And that was Candace's sort of word for me. She used to say, Mark, you're being a little bit salty, or you're giving it to us a little bit on the salty side. Like I'll wear my conscience or I'll wear my emotions on my sleeve, right? And, maybe, I'm not meaning to be like argumentative or disagreeing. It just happens that uh, I'll say something at that moment, because I'll be more in like cerebral about it, and I'll be thinking about it, and I'll say something offhanded, and like it'll be taken the wrong way, unfortunately. And I'm sure everybody here is actually have done the same over in the course of their lives or careers. But Candace was so good at really just bringing me back to reality and like letting me know, almost like my wife, not like my wife, but as you have your wife or your significant other always kind of gasses you up, and she would gas me up, but she knew how to gas me up like in a really good way, in a way that wasn't fake. It was like, come on, like it made sense to me. And she's a great people person. If you don't know Candace, um, she doesn't produce a lot of content, but she's a great leader, and it's definitely somebody to keep your eye on. I love her to death as well. So that's Candace Tabor. Sarah, she and I plead maybe we can have a conversation. I don't know. She's a cold calling maniac. I love it. I love her content. For women in sales out there, I think she's a great role model. She really just dives into it, right, on her videos when she's making cold calls. I think, honestly, jumping around your room and stuff is a little crazy while you're making cold calls. But hey, man, it works. It works for her, and she's definitely an inspiration to a lot of young gals out there that are probably starting out in maybe SDRs that are watching this, that follow me. Definitely check out Sarah. She's definitely somebody who is an inspiration. She puts out cold call tactics all the time. She's got a webinar actually right now going on. I think March 19th. That must be going on right now. So kudos to her. I hope that's going well, Sarah. But great lady to watch moving forward, and she does produce quite a bit of content on the daily. So check her out. She's here at the Career Collective, and you'll always she'd be the one with her hair down, glasses, with her laptop in her hand, dancing around her apartment, which is now going to be her house out on Long Island. So uh, congratulations, Sarah, on the house. Good luck, and I wish you the best. And you are one of my top picks for women in sales this month. So kudos, you made the cut. Just kidding. I'd like to make your cut. So let's move on. Alexine Moudouar. I don't know if you know this woman, but she is Women in Sales. That's her company. That's her business. Had to mention her. Great woman to follow. First met Alexine. She was along, taking the ride with a whole bunch of us on the Thursday night sales train, if you will, that was going on for a while. Those of you who might remember Thursday night sales was hosted by none other than Scott Leese and Amy Volas. And that was an incredible event that had gone on every Thursday night. Thursday evening. I think at one point there was upwards of 300 or 400 people. We tried to make it to 500. I don't think we ever got there, but came close. Over 400 people that joined to listen in and ask questions. And Alexine was always, a favorite to come up on the stage, and she's done incredibly great things since, with all of the stuff that she does with women in sales. If you're a woman in sales, check her out. She's got a team of people, and she's enabling salespeople all over the world to be better, to mold the future of sales, and to be more inclusive, which is something I definitely believe in, and I think is important in today's society. That it's not just women; it's people of all kinds, of all genders, of all whatever. Listen, you know, to each his own. We can all get along and we can all benefit from each other's talents, knowledge, and willingness to give. And I think that's the one thing I learned from her was she always would give up her time, and her expertise to help really anybody that needed it. And so kudos, and I thank you for allowing me to post you, Alexine, on my Women in Sales event this evening. So shout out to you, Alexine, if you're listening or you get a message. That would be awesome. Would love to hear from you guys. Actually, I should be probably typing those people, linking those people on here, right? That would probably be smart. Let's see, who else did I pull up? Forgive me. Yeah, so wait, I'm going to pull up actually some folks that was also on the list. Lila Nielsen, she actually was the number one. I don't know if she was number one, but when you pull up the list of 100 most powerful women in sales, Lila Nielsen was the number one, but not necessarily ranked number one. And so I wanted to check her out. She's an SDR manager at Nagomi Security. Lila, nice to meet you. Welcome to The Hump. Every Wednesday night at 5:30, I interview and talk with and chop it up with SDR managers, leaders, SDRs for that matter, people that are in the trenches, doing the work, marketing professionals, sales professionals, VPs of sales, founders, whomever I could get to want to come on and talk with me for an hour. But love to get you on, Lila. If anybody out there knows Lila, I might send her a message, say I'm looking to see if she might want to come chop it up as the SDR manager for Nagomi Security. Of course, Nagomi, I don't really know them very well, but they are a defense platform. Okay, Nagomi. It sounds like actually a either a cybersecurity firm, or like Nagomi by itself would sound almost like there's a game company, I think, has a very close name. She was a founding member of SDR Nation. Interesting. Member of Rev Genius Sales Enablement Society. Worked as an SDR manager at Adaptive Shield for a year and a half. 16 more experiences. Where else was she? Founding member of Salescast. Bravado War Room member. She was an SDR trainer at TrainYo. I can't believe I don't know this girl. SDR consultant at ClearScope for 4 months. Here she goes into probably a few contract jobs. SDR enablement at Demandbase. She was an AE at Alert Media for 8 months. Senior SDR for a year and a half at Telium. Account manager at Thrift Connection and an account executive at LionDesk. So quite a bit of a sales experience. Looks like she's been successful. And now an SDR manager again at a company called Nagomi Security. So shout out to Lila Nielsen. What a career. Very impressive. Cal State, Chico. Cool. Love it. And 17,000 followers. Well, Lila, love to connect with you. I'm going to send you, well, we're already connected, but love to maybe chop it up one day with you. Thanks. Let's see, who else? Amy Volas. Of course, Amy Volas. I got to mention Amy. Amy, I think I made Amy laugh the first time I met her. I came on to the show Thursday night sales, and they had this whole thing how you were able to like ask questions, and you write in these questions, and then they get upsold by people who like the question, so you get pushed up. And so I don't know what what question I had that night, but I told a story about how this guy I work for, this boss. Oh, I remember, right? Yeah, I told the story how I worked for this guy, like, is this a flag? Maybe I was just trying to be funny, but I asked, like, is this a flag? Or I forget how I phrased it, but it was about, you know, I started working as a VP of sales for a furniture company that I was actually repping before it, right, independently. And the owner there, he convinced me to come on board and to actually do, be their VP of sales. And so the very first day I was there, it got to be about 5 o'clock, and he kind of walked into my office and he shut the light and he was like, "Time to go home." And I kind of laughed. And then I think I told this story and I was like, "Is that a flag?" I don't know if it was that, but he had, he would walk around the office, literally walk around the office with a block of cheese, you know, peeling off pieces like a block of cheese that had slices in it that you just peel off, and like you would peel it off and eat cheese, walk around the office and eat cheese. I swear to God. And they thought that was really funny, and so I think that's how they remember me. Scott Leese, I think, even said to me, one time we were commenting back and forth, and he was like, "Piece of cheese, right?" or something like that. So, but Amy Volas, yeah, great gal. Ran Thursday night sales with Scott for a while. Was a great hit. She runs Avenue Talent Partners, an incredible firm, consulting firm, recruiting firm, if you will. She finds she's got a very unique way of going to market and finding really top talent, identifying top talent, really weeding through those kind of how you say, maybe pitfalls when you have really good candidates that like seem good on paper or seem good even uh, in person. But she's really good at dissecting that out and really increasing your interview to hire success rate, right? She puts the best person in front of the best candidate in front of you, so that you don't waste your time hiring wrong people or interviewing, not so great people. So kudos to Amy. She's been on top of her game for a while, and I consider her an incredible woman in sales, or in business. Obviously, she runs her own business as the founder and CEO of Avenue Talent Partners. So thank you, Amy, for doing what you do, and celebrate Women in Sales Month with you. So thank you. Who else do I got? I said Lila, right? Christine Rogers. I want to mention Christine was another woman, and definitely somebody you guys should follow. Where is it? This is her. Yep, this is her. CEO of M3. Christine, again, another gal that I believe was that I was introduced to through Thursday Night Sales. She runs obviously her own new company recently called M3 Learning. When I ran into her, she was running, I think, Aspireship, but she was like the biggest proponent of that program, which helped people really get into tech sales. And I thought that was an incredible movement, an incredible person, a woman, mother. She's just like everybody would really, I got great things to say about her. She gives everything to everybody that she meets and works with. And I don't even know how to put a price on anything like that. Like if I ever had a need for her or to hire her for, I couldn't even, I don't even, I'd pay her more than I'd pay myself, and she's a great person. Everybody that I've spoken with ever before who knows her speaks extremely highly of her. I don't think she puts out a ton of content, but I see some of it here, maybe just reposting. I got to follow her more. But great gal, definitely somebody to definitely to watch. or to at least pay attention to. If you want somebody, if you're looking to be inspired by a woman in sales, I think she's certainly that person. Um, yeah, and then I got to give it out to my girl Sarah Brazier, honestly, from New York, um, Brooklyn, New York, and I got to give it to my girl from New York. But Sarah has always what I love about Sarah, is she is true to herself. She's always herself. She's I listened to that demo she did with Ding Zhang. That was incredible. That song she sang it. She's got a great voice. Um, and she's one of those warriors, right? She's like in the trenches making calls. Even as a founder of a company or an advisor to other companies. I mean, she does the job, like she was doing the job at Gong. I mean, I think that's where she ultimately made her bones, right? Like everybody started to get to know her when she worked at Gong because I mean, just look at this career, uh, you know, 2019, 130%. Look at all these quota achievements, President's Club, right? Then she became an account executive at the same thing. Sold, big market business finance, almost 5 years. Now, to me, right, I want to give a hand to Sarah because I always talk about this. When you look at some of these folks online, I look at their LinkedIn profiles. They got 45 companies. They got 37, different, you know, uh, businesses they've been involved with, right? 30 of them are contract, right? Which is fine. They can be contract, right? But it's like, yeah, I mean, like, what do you do, right? And I always think to myself, like, where's the body of work, right? Maybe the whole thing is a body of work, but when I look at like you were really successful for 6 months and then you went somewhere else and then you were really, maybe you were mediocre and you could always tell, right? They won't put their results like for a 3 month gig that maybe there was not much success at. And so, and it's like, well, hey, look, I get it. You bounce it. That's more of the problem. Not that you didn't have success there, that you're moving from and you don't have a consistent body of work, right? When you're given a quota and you only, like, for example, when somebody, I love it when they say, oh, they were there 6 months and they hit quota month over month, right? Come on, you hit quota your first month. Let's be real, right? All right, so let's just say they're there 6 months and they were 138% of quota for the first quarter, right? And then they weren't, and then they left, right? Like, so why? Why did you leave? Like I feel like the interview processes, we talk about how elongated it might be in tech sales. I wonder how often it's why it's so long because in the first interview, when you really kind of understanding someone's background and you seeing all these jump from here to here to here to here, why did you do that? Like how often is sure you got riffed, right? But some of those you probably got let go. Nobody. How many times do you admit that you got let go? Oh, I got let go like 19 times in the last 5 years. I mean, no one's going to say that, right? And so to me, I feel like what was great about Sarah is I look at this body of work and I say, not almost 5 years at Gone and almost every role and achieved in every role, even though portion of this was when they were blowing up. I get it, right? But she still did the deed in 2019 before it got crazy, right? And she still was doing it in 2023 when it started to slow down and still excelling, you know? 2022, 23, still 100% of the goal. So this girl is definitely somebody to follow and watch. If she's ever available or would want to work with you and your company, I would snatch her up in a second. Definitely my New York girl. So what's up and shout out to Sarah Brazier. Thank you for being a great woman in sales. All right. Who's next? I think I have a couple of more. Some people I don't know, or some people that, not that I don't know them, um, I don't know them really at all. I've never met them, but they were mentioned in the top 100 women, and the first one that kind of stuck out at me was Reva Pellerin. I don't really know her, but she's with Vidyard, and I've known some people from Vidyard. Anybody from Vidyard out there listening, shout out to Vidyard. But I will say this: great platform, great video content that they put out, as they should be. But more importantly, they all have like video cameras that are incredible, right? So like when they do put out videos, it's like sick. I mean, look at this one. I don't even know if she's using whatever they give her, but like here's a woman, Sales Impact Academy coach, worked as a sales manager at Oracle, recruiter before that, going back 2010. And she's a little bit older, probably my age, or close to my age, and but spent 9 years here again, a body of work. You know, you build on it, you grow it, and you continue. If you have momentum, right? If you have this success, why all of a sudden you're going to jump ship? You jump ship and you go somewhere else simply just so that you could do it again. I get it, right? But it's like it's like you're not you're not setting a precedent. Like if you go to a new founding SDR role, right, and all of a sudden you're 150% a quota or target. I mean, what was the target? They gave you a realistic target. You blew it out of the water. Good for you. Do it again now, right? Now that you've done all of that, because there was no precedent before, because the quota was probably low because they don't know what to do, right? And all of a sudden you're going on to another company so that you can get a new quota and set a new precedent. I mean, I see that all the time, right? So it was incredible when I pulled her up earlier to see that she's been 9 years, right? 9 years at Vidyard. Look at this. Commercial account executive, took the year off to have a child. Business development, commercial growth, enterprise account manager. Incredible career at Vidyard, right? So another gal to follow, I think. Looks like she's putting out videos. She's working out. Wow, she's a beast too. Awesome. Yeah. Strengthening, training. I don't do that. So good for her. Anyone else balancing a snow day and work today? Don't send coffee, but you can send a Vidyard message. Or what? What is she saying here? I don't know. This is kind of funny. The weapons of choice today, and my house is about to be covered in crafts. Funny. Yeah, so puts out some funny content and is rocking it out at Vidyard. So shout out to Reva. Happy Women in History Month, and thank you for being a great woman in sales, Reva. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Here's another one I want to point out, Ashley Zags. Now, if you don't know who this is, you've been living under a rock. That's not her. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Is that her? What happened? Why is there... Am I spelling it wrong? Boss lady at Boss Things. I don't know. This could be her, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's weird. Well, Ashley Zags is actually from Chili Piper. If you guys know Ashley from Chili Piper, check her out. Let me see. Maybe I'll just go to Chili Piper. Let's do that. What was that all about? She's definitely one of my connections, so she should come up in the top. Maybe she doesn't work for them anymore. But okay. Well, anyways. Oh, geez. So I'm going to actually stop sharing here and come back. Yeah, and so those are some great women in sales. I hope some folks out there enjoyed or maybe caught one or two that they never knew before. I could probably have gone on. I did have a couple of others that were mentioned in the top 100 women in sales. But I do want to drone on about those people, although I did enjoy actually talking about them because they're all an inspiration to me. I hope if you guys find that they're an inspiration to you. I appreciate all those that really try. I mean, that's the key, right? Just go out there and put it out there and have some empathy and be curious. And all of these women that I mentioned today are definitely folks. I could have mentioned so many others. I probably could talk for hours. I've had a few on my podcast here. Lydia Hutchinson for one. Jennifer Frost is another. Of course, my girl Jessie Lizak, who later, I think tonight show was actually this afternoon. So she's a Wednesday show as well, Hump Day show. And I'll tell you, I have actually a new Hump of the Week hack that I'm going to share with you. My new Hump of the Week, or my new Hump of the Week, my new hack for getting over the Hump of the Week is something that I learned kind of from Andrew Jacks. Andrew Jacks was on my show a few weeks ago, and he is a fitness coach, and he works with dads, sales dads, and dads who are founders and dads who are in sales that don't have a lot of time for working out or eating right and those kinds of things. And he talks a little bit. He taught us a little bit about how you don't have to have a lot of time, and you don't have to really change what you eat. It's just small tweaks, like we talked about when I started the call, that Janice Ransom taught me. Small tweaks in your daily routines or your daily food intake that makes a difference in how you feel, the serotonin, skin, vitamin D, all those kinds of things, right? And so he had talked about, like, I'm not a big kind of cold plunge guy. I hate the cold. Like, I want to move to where it's warm, even though I live in New Jersey and it's cold here. Not today, but normally. Um, that's my thing. And I see some of these folks out there. Ryan Reiser does cold plunges, Stan Dersh challenge, etc. People using cold plunges, as either like an event or they just put it into their routine, right? I don't really see myself filling up a giant bucket or a giant vat, if you will, or like usually those vats have ice in it with beers in it. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see ice where somebody wants to get in it. There's water in there. I don't get that, right? Let's get hypothermia for like 60 seconds, right? So that, we can have the shock to the body. I never understood it, right? And so, but Andrew said that he does it in the shower. He takes a cold shower or an ice cold shower. I asked him, like, do you actually like take a cold shower or do you just like blast? And so he blasts it and then he like lowers it down a little bit, of course, and then he finishes it off and it's pretty much cold all the time. Now, I don't really see that. I love taking a shower. I love it being hot. But for the last week or two, I've actually been taking ice cold showers 3 days a week, right? And when I say I take an ice cold shower, I mean I take the shower and then I turn it all the way down and I try to stay underneath the water for at least like 60 seconds. First couple of times it was really hard. It was like 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. First time probably 10 seconds. Second time like 20 seconds. Third time like a minute, right? 60 seconds. I think I tried 90. I didn't get too far. 70 seconds, right? Lost count. But the most important thing was to, control your breathing. And now I'm able to kind of like turn it down that cold and like control the breathing pretty much right away, right? So I can stand it for like 90 seconds. And honestly, the way the way my skin feels afterwards, even though it's kind of red, and it's like I don't get out of the shower and I'm not sweating, which was like, the steam or the heat. We have a small bathroom. And so it kind of like actually reduces all of that and makes me feel really good. It really actually does revive me. It does kind of give me a little bit of a jolt. I mean, my heart's not necessarily, increasing my heart rate, which is really important. But it really actually kind of, it feels great. And I've been doing it. I don't know. I didn't expect it to. So I'm pleasantly surprised. So shout out to Ryan. And another thing Ryan and I have been engaged in is a new Call Blitz program, which I put on the screen here. If you guys want to be a part of a community, and I know there's a lot of communities out there, but if you are a cold caller and you really want to up level your game, I suggest you get into our Call Blitz platform, into our community on school. I have my own personal Call Blitz here. I coach and I call on this Call Blitz multiple times a week, right? So you can come in there, you can watch me live cold call. You can make cold calls with me, and I can coach you on them. You can have access to other coaches, other cold call coaches, other AE like discovery call coaches. Other coaches teaching other things at all different times. There's a schedule. There's a database of cold calls, and there's a database of live cold calls, and there's a database of cold call reviews, live training sessions, a whole database of that you can get access to. We do monthly competitions with cash prizes. So, cold calling competitions on the regular, if you will, this month, March Madness, of course, right? All you got to do is go to this link, app.callblitz.com/b/conversation-starters. That's my personal Call Blitz room. Would love to have you guys join, and totally happy if you want to come and call, come and watch, come and ask questions while you watch. That's cool too. This was a excellent episode, even though I did it by myself. 47 minutes and counting right now, and not very difficult for me to talk for 45 minutes, right, straight. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Those who are catching it on the replay, check out app.callblitz.com. If you want a place to really up level your cold calling skills, check it out. Check out all the girls and gals and women of sales that I mentioned tonight. They would be most appreciative of finding some new followers, following them. And if you're a woman in sales and you are watching this, come check me out next week when I host the very last Woman in Sales of the Month episode. And we're bringing on Celeste Burke-Neasley. I don't know if you know her, but crazy story about her is she and I were in a content creation class, video class, and she was so scared about what she wanted to do, didn't know what to do. It was so crazy. I loved her energy, and I honestly am so happy to have her on. So happy to see what she's done with, what Chris taught her and the empowerment that he gave her, and the confidence that this girl has now with content creation and running, some businesses is just totally amazing. And we're going to chop it up next week for the hour on episode 17 of the Hump. So happy Hump Day, y'all. I'm Mark Mack. Peace.